Okay, there we go. We should be live. We should be live again. I'm just checking everything on my side if everything is working correctly. Also, just a few secs. Yes, everything is working. Okay. Okay, I will just start, and I think members will start slowly coming in. Basically, I'm live today because I saw. Hey, Sepokat. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Sepokat. Welcome to the stream. I thought I would just do like a quick altcoin season screener because this is something I saw a lot of people commenting about in my latest live streams about more of a dedicated altcoin live stream. And since we are seeing some altcoins basically pop everywhere now, I thought this might be a good moment to be discussing some altcoins, doing a quick market screen. So basically the idea of this live stream is you can just drop some altcoin tickers in the comments, and I can do some TA on them, for example, and we can just discuss some things, maybe learn some things together, just to like a deep dive on the market. Before I dive into some requests, hello everybody joining in. Amazing to have you guys back. I see a lot of familiar names from the last live streams also, so that's quite nice. Before we dive in, I do just want to discuss a few charts, like we also discussed in today's update video. If you haven't watched today's update video yet, just make sure to check it out here. It's also more of a altcoin season dedicated one. It's over here. I've discussed a lot of important signals also for this altcoin season, because we are seeing a lot. Basically, we are seeing, of course, this 3 daily bullish crossover for Ethereum. Alders versus ETH is actually bouncing up now, so altcoins are indeed outperforming Ethereum here, which is quite interesting. Alders versus Bitcoin flashing this bullish crossover, this golden crossover. Hello Thailand lover, great to have you back. Yeah, I see a lot of familiar names. Great to have all of you guys back. Amazing. But yeah, we see this golden cross on the Alders versus Bitcoin chart. And of course, the altcoin season index is exploding here. It's now officially an altcoin season, but I saw some comments about this also, and it might be an altcoin season now. But on the other hand, if you just zoom out on the monthly, it's definitely not an altcoin year yet. And the thing about this post-halving year is that we also are going to see this altcoin year, because that is what happened in 2021 and also in 2017. So that is what should be happening once again for altcoins. So don't put too much focus on this chart on the daily. Just zoom out also a little bit and look into the monthly. And that's why it maybe does not feel like an altcoin season yet here, but we are maybe on the daily there, but on the monthly it's a totally different story. So keep that in mind. And now I will just look at some comments. Look at Dogecoin. First of all, I will also give an update on my trading positions. I do still have my Ethereum position open, which is now in quite a nice profit, my XRP position, and also my Ondo position. Basically I'm just I think I have some great entries. I do like XRP the most from the trades I currently have open because of this breakout. Just a perfect XRP breakout I was seeing, and I longed here once I start seeing the confirmation of the breakout. And ultimately I do think this XRP breakout could be continuing much higher, because that is what usually happens for XRP after seeing a large breakout, like for example we also saw here. And if I could be riding a move like this to the top side, would of course be absolutely amazing. Okay, I will dive into the comments also. Look at the Dodge charts. Yes, I saw some meme coins popping off actually. We also have Pepe moving a lot higher here. Actually, I think on the daily it did like a 20% or something. It's quite insane. Dogecoin of Pepe, sorry. It's quite insane. Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin is also moving up quickly now. I saw this, and that is usually Dogecoin moving like this. Oh, also a nice emoji of Dogecoin. Dogecoin moving like this is usually an indication that we are getting closer to an altcoin season, because once Dogecoin historically starts moving up higher, you do see good performance for altcoins after exactly that. Yeah, Dogecoin is moving up aggressively, and it's basically moving like most charts now. Just seeing that breakout. And for Dogecoin, you could draw it something like this, but also a little bit more like this. And then Dogecoin is just confirming the breakout now. And like a lot of other altcoins, there's still a lot of potential left. Also because Ethereum is of course now moving higher after this 3-daily golden crossover. For Ethereum, it's also looking quite good. Are we in the Ethereum phase now or in the large cap phase? It's a good question. I think we are basically transitioning between the Ethereum phase and the large cap phase. I think that's what's currently happening. So we are now slowly starting to see large caps outperform. You have like Dogecoin, for example, over the last week. Just look over the last week here. WorldCoin, Dogecoin, Solana, MNT, Ondo, HBAR, this one, but this an outlier. Pump, we have basically a lot of large caps outperforming now, and definitely outperforming Ethereum. And that is going to be your first sign that we are slowly transitioning from phase 2 into phase 3, in my personal opinion. So that's definitely looking quite good. So I would not say we are now in phase 3, but we are definitely transitioning from ETH to phase 3. But I do think the true phase 3 is going to start once Ethereum is going to truly blast through this previous all-time high. Of course, we made a new all-time high here, but we still got rejected in the supply zone. And ultimately, you do want to see Ethereum moving higher. And this is probably where phase 3 is going to start, in my opinion. Love from India, thank you so much. IOTA will melt faces. IOTA. Brett, I will start with the first comments first. ADA also quite an interesting one. Of course, more of an OG coin, but actually waking up. And you can just see it like it looks a lot like, for example, also XRP. But ADA is now basically at this important level, and I don't really like to long exactly on the breakout point. I would love to see a confirmed breakout first. And that is not the daily candle, I think, yeah, so ADA could confirm the breakout today actually, but it does depend a little bit on how you're going to draw it. If you, for example, draw it like this is different. I think ideally you want to see a confirmed breakout above this last wick, and then you could say that ADA is going to outperform next. But ADA is lagging behind a little bit, but I was just talking with someone. He was also saying to me that like altcoins are now popping just slowly after each other. We see one altcoin pop, then the next. It's very selected. But for example, ADA could very well be the next one to pop off here once we confirm this breakout. Aptos is actually looking insane. A bullish divergence on the macro. Could you specify a little bit how the bullish divergence is looking like for Aptos on the macro, on like the weekly, monthly even? I don't know. I've been looking in the Aptos chart this morning actually. And what I do find quite interesting about Aptos is actually the following. Always in Q4. And first of all, a big shout out to Trader PA for this alpha. I will show his profile in a minute. But always in Q4, we do see that Aptos breakout. And we tend to bottom out in that September period. That's also always how Aptos has been moving. And if you just draw the breakout lines, of course, it's basically history repeating. But we have not truly seen the breakout yet. It depends on how you're going to draw it. Is this the breakout? But I probably think this is the breakout line. And then Aptos is also very close to breaking that line actually. But Aptos is definitely an interesting one. I'm closely watching this because I'm interested in opening an Aptos trade once you're going to confirm the breakout. And I just want to do some more research about the revenue they're making. But I do think this is quite a nice pick actually. Brett. Let's look into Brett. I'm not the biggest fan of Brett, to be fair. I would much rather hold Pepe or just a larger cap meme coin. But this is actually looking quite good here with Brett. It's looking very good actually. It's basically an symmetrical triangle here. Ooh, this is looking very nice actually. This is where I do want to see the breakout confirm for Brett. out of this symmetrical triangle. It's looking amazing, actually. Here, that's going to be the most important level for Brett. ADA, Brett, Lix. What do you think of AVAX this cycle? Current price is about $30, and last cycle it went over $140. Let me check. Also, guys, if you just have like a more general question about the altcoin season or just something crypto related, you can also ask in the comments. It's not only, you don't only have to drop tickers or something, but I think that's the most interesting for most watchers actually. AVAX. Let's look at the logarithmic. And the previous high was 140, I think, last cycle. Smash that like button. Yes, please, guys. Yeah, to be fair, I don't. Of course, AVAX is great, but I do think it's maybe a little bit of an older project. It's definitely not the shiny horse of this cycle, I personally think. So with a lot of these coins, I don't necessarily think that we need to hit the previous all-time high. So keep that in mind. Maybe AVAX will do so. I don't know. I don't hold AVAX myself. But the thing with a lot of these older coins, I do think more money is now just flooding into the shiny objects, very high revenue based protocols like we have seen with Hype. We see it happening with Ethena and a few other altcoins. I don't think it's necessary for AVAX to, for example, hit the previous highs. And a lot of altcoins will not do so this altcoin season because I do think it's going to be much more selected. So that's what I currently think for AVAX. I don't see a lot happening on the TA perspective. Yeah, of course, it just does look a lot like how all altcoins are looking. Maybe just on the 4 hourly, for example. I don't know how it's looking. It's pumping though, so that's quite nice. It is showing some strength. And yeah, I think it's just seeing a breakout from here. Somewhat of an accumulation range. Yeah, it's great that it's showing strength now. What is your target for the total tree market cap? Let's dive in the chart because that's actually the most interesting chart currently, the total tree chart. Just look at that perfect breakout of that bullish pennant. Amazing. So I think my short-term target for the crypto total market cap, the total tree chart, is going to be about $1.26 trillion. But this is of course somewhat of the short term. Basically, you can it's the best to watch at this chart at the daily. There you can see how perfectly this is performing. This bullish pennant, it's looking very bullish, and I do think that's going to be your first target here. Maybe we could see a little bit of a drawdown from there, I don't know. But if you zoom out on the chart, and then I will just open a another layout quick, like this. Look, what the total tree is so looking insanely bullish basically, with for example that cup and handle pattern which is now breaking out. Let me draw it on the chart. Here, boom, boom. It's quite insane how this chart is looking. This is going to be your neckline. Yeah, it's basically just on the verge of that neckline here. And once you're going to break out here, it's probably going to be a huge breakout. So yeah, for the total tree, I could be... Your stream stopped. Oh, I think I should be back now, right? With stream. Just waiting for a sec if everything is working well. I should be back now. Excellent stream condition. Can you guys confirm in the chat that we are back live? Sorry, sometimes there are some connectivity issues. Maybe just muted. It's back. Okay, it's back. Perfect. Here with BTCD, it's not going to be the same as 2021 because maybe the Bitcoin dominance move is going to be the same. That could be the case. But there are so many more altcoins than in 2021. So there's basically maybe even less liquidity available to flow into a lot more altcoins. So that's why it's simply going to be more selective, in my opinion. not everything can pump. So you do have to be mindful about the decisions. And in 2021, that was maybe a little bit less the case. More altcoins would start pumping. Maybe you don't have to do that much of research to pick some altcoins which did outperform, for example. Sandcoin on the weekly. Let me check it. I will keep this chart open because it's an interesting Bitcoin dominance chart with of course breaking that over 1,000 daily channel here. That was of course a big confirmation of altcoin season. Sandcoin. Let me check where. I think the ticker is just Sand, right? Yeah. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, Sand is more of is more of an NFT project. I don't know any more about Sand. I do know it was popping in 2021, but it wasn't able to reclaim somewhat of those levels yet. I'm not the biggest fan of Sandcoin, to be fair. I do think it's similar to, for example, on AVAX. I don't think coins like this do have to reach the 2021 cycle top. Of course, we could see a nice pump, but then I will be looking into something like this, for example, and not really something like this, personally. Do you think we can see some profit booking around this Fed meeting? So you mean people are going to take profits? Could be the case. We have been pumping before the Fed started cutting the rates because that's the probability from the market here. So that has been priced in. That's also why Ethereum started moving so aggressively to the top side, of course. But yeah, is it going to be a moment of profit taking? Could be the case. Historically, we see that after the Federal Reserve meetings, we don't start pumping immediately. So we could see some volatility both to the top side, downside, or just some choppy price action after the FOMC meeting. But then ultimately, I do think a few days after that, so maybe the ending of September or a little bit early, a little bit later, I think there we are going to see a positive reaction from the market, personally. Your top screen is cut, brother. I know. I just discussed why. Pengu, please. Pengu. The shiny object of the cycle, I would say so. One of the most shiny objects. It's quite insane. Of course, Pengu saw a launch where it basically bled almost to death, and amazingly, which you don't see a lot with of course these launches, it did recover to basically almost the launch price, it seems. So yeah, that is quite insane. That is of course a signal that the project is super strong. So I'm definitely a fan of Pengu. And what we are seeing now for Pengu is something similar like we have seen during this consolidation period, basically. Look at that. And we did confirm the breakout for Pengu. So yeah, I do think for Pengu a leg higher, it would not surprise me. I do think Pengu is going to make new all-time highs simply because there's so much attention for the project also. So yeah, it's probably going to make new all-time highs because that's what has been successful this cycle. A lot of eyes on the project itself. New shiny object, funny meme. It's a great project, I think. Did the others chart break out? Didn't check myself. Okay, let's check it. Others. It depends on which breakout you mean. On the macro or just on the lower time frames. Okay, look here. We haven't seen the breakout yet above the previous all-time high. That's of course still something we are waiting for, because once we're going to see the breakout, it's going to be out of this ascending triangle, and that's of course going to be a huge bullish signal here. Look at that. Looks amazing. Looks absolutely amazing. So yeah, I do think this is the most important target for the others chart. Yeah, maybe on the daily or something we are seeing a breakout, but that is going to be less important than just that very big time frame, of course. Look at this. It really depends on how you're going to draw it. I think it should be something like this. It's something different to hear you speak at normal speed. I usually watch the videos at minus 1.75 speed because I'm talking too quick at minus 1.75 speed. So that means I'm talking too quick in my update videos, you think? Yeah. You reckon Pepe could hit 20 to 30 billion market cap? Let's go back to the Pepe chart. To the market cap chart. Ooh. Yeah, I think 20 to 30 billion is quite optimistic. Look, this is looking quite insane for Pepe, eh? The daily also. Let's see how it looks on the weekly. Yeah, that is looking quite insane also for Pepe. Look at that. Not looking too bad. Super important level for Pepe, it seems like. Just like we saw with Brett earlier. And probably Brett also follows Pepe for a big part. I think Pepe is also now pumping simply because we see Dogecoin pumping. I think the meme coins are just following each other also. Could we hit 20 to 30 billion? Back to your question. I think it's a little bit... let's see. Technically speaking, we could be seeing so, but I think it's a little bit optimistic. First of all, I just want to see Pepe breaking this previous all-time high of 2024. And then you could be looking into the higher price targets, but this is going to be the first big one. And of course, we could be doing so, but yeah, it's a little bit optimistic, I think. Merlo USDT. I don't want to cover too low cap altcoins, to be fair. Fartcoin, please. Because I also want to protect the viewers against shitcoins, basically. Fartcoin is basically shitcoin, but let's look into Fartcoin. Interesting chart. I think I will be going to the daily. Interesting. Also a breakout here. Interesting. That's the thing I'm seeing for Fartcoin now, this breakout, which got confirmed. So if this is going to continue, if the market is going to stay like this, you're looking at this target of about $1.6 I think. And this is going to be a huge, I think a huge supply zone also, because look at the wicks we had over here, and maybe also here. So this is a huge supply zone for Fartcoin, I think. So it would be quite likely to move up there, bit of a rejection, and then eventually moving higher, if the market is going to allow it. This is what I would think of Fartcoin here. And it's basically also a bit of a falling wedge, actually, the breakout here. Just depends on how you're going to exactly draw it, of course, but it's looking quite nice here, just like a falling wedge. Well, you could also draw it a little bit deeper, maybe. It looks very interesting to me, actually. Nice setup. But this is going to be a huge supply zone, so I would be taking profits here if I was holding this, to be fair. Let me check about more comments. The divergence in Aptos you asked me about, same volume and TVL as when it was around 9 to 10 a year ago. RSI making higher lows weekly, while price slightly dropped. Let me check. Interesting. On the weekly, yeah, this weekly divergence. RSI making higher lows. Ah, I see. Interesting. But the price is also now going up, right? RSI is moving up, but the price is also moving up with it, right? But, or is it like, let me check. I don't see the bullish divergence myself, but you could also be meaning a bullish divergence with volume, like you stated. The volume is coming down a bit now, but maybe I'm looking wrong in the charts. Have you got your eyes on any newer projects? Yes, I have. Basically, what I'm looking for now, and I will show you guys some alpha. I think this is a very nice dashboard, which I'm personally looking a lot at. I think most of the good performing coins. First of all, you have this alpha screener, guys, on June.com, where you can see which narratives are performing the best. So here we have, for example, a lot of good performing coins currently, but let me check where it was again. You can also see which narratives are, for example, today performing the best. So today we see DeFi, meme coins, AI agents, DeepIn, AI, layer ones. They are currently performing the best on the 24 hours index. This is something where you can quickly see on the day itself where probably the most opportunities are going to be laying. And if you do want to know about which altcoins could be great picks, I guess it's called cash cows. Look at that. There you can see basically the protocols, all the crypto protocols which are making the most revenue. And this cycle we've seen most of these protocols outperform the market simply because they do a lot of revenue, like Hyperliquid, and with the revenue they are also doing buybacks. So they are basically pumping their own price, their own chart up. And it's great because they're doing it with the revenue itself. And sometimes they're also burning tokens. So those are, in my opinion, very interesting projects. And then today I have been looking into Jupiter just as like a more large cap play. But I also do think EDeFi is a very interesting project I'm currently looking at. Pendle, but yeah, it has outperformed quite heavily already, just like ANA also. Fluid could be a nice one, more of a smaller cap actually. Zerup, and we have a few other ones. But currently I'm eyeing EDeFi and also Jupiter is like a bigger cap play, because I do think it's maybe still a little bit undervalued because Ethereum has been taking the spotlights. And it could also be a great diversification just to have Jupiter in the Solana ecosystem and having EDeFi in the Ethereum ecosystem. So also just a tip, this is going to be a super nice dashboard also to use for yourself. And in general on June.com you can find like a lot of alpha and a lot of interesting data points to make better decisions on trading crypto. Any 20 to 30x project, I think EDeFi could be doing so. I'm very bullish on that. But yeah, 20 to 30x, I don't know. I would realistically say maybe a 5x or something. 20 to 30x, then you're looking in very, very low cap projects. And then I'm a little bit more careful with talking about them on YouTube also. Also, I'm not looking that much in so low cap projects, basically. Because it doesn't make that much sense for me personally. Can you look at Algo? Yeah, of course. We can. Algo rent. Okay. Also, guys, if you drop, for example, a ticker and you have, for example, a bullish divergence in mind or just another pattern you're seeing on the chart, just let me know also, so I can give my opinion on what you're currently seeing, what your analysis might is on a certain altcoin, basically. Algo, interesting. It seems like it could be breaking out any moment here. Interesting. This on the 2 weekly. I will go back to the weekly. 2 weekly is somewhat of a weird time frame. Yeah, basically, if Algo could be pushing in the next days, then you could be confirming a breakout here on the weekly. And of course, it's Saturday, so tomorrow we are going to see the weekly close. And maybe if we could see a weekly close above this trend line, I could get bullish for a continuation of the breakout here. But we haven't done so. That's of course on somewhat of the short term. Let's see how it looks on the daily also. I think it looks quite the same. I think I will draw it. Yeah, maybe I will draw it like this even. No, it doesn't really mean that much. But we have not confirmed a breakout on Algo in my opinion, on the daily and the weekly. Price coming up. RSI is... yeah, not that much happening there. I think you are creating somewhat of an symmetrical triangle here for Algo, so that's looking quite nice. I know how it looks on the weekly. It looks nice, just like this. So it's not only a breakout line. I could also draw this as a symmetrical triangle. But yeah, just in short, this is going to be your most important level, I personally think. Thank you for the alpha. I heard of June but never used it. Yeah, it's actually amazing. You can find a lot of great info in June. I would highly recommend it. Thanks for sharing all the important data points with us. What BTC target do you have for this cycle? I think it could be close to 140k, but I would definitely like to have your view on this. I also think we could be coming close to 140k, indeed. Look, with Bitcoin, we have a few important things. Oh, let's go back to the RSI. Look. I think this is the most important chart for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is creating like a big bearish divergence on the weekly, and I think just draw it a little bit higher. It depends on when Bitcoin is going to initiate the final leg up, but it seems likely that it is going to do so quite quickly, and then this is probably going to be your final leg. Of course, Bitcoin could also be breaking through this bearish divergence. That would be amazing. Then we could maybe be looking into somewhat of a lengthened cycle. But if you believe in the 4-year cycle, for me it would make a lot of sense if Bitcoin is going to top out in this area, confirming the bearish divergence and then moving back down to, for example, this range. Maybe here we could find some bear market lows. If you do believe in the 4-year cycle, it all depends on your own thoughts. On your own market thesis. Do you still believe in the 4-year cycle? Do you maybe believe that the cycle is going to be longer because more institutional accumulation? But for the 4-year cycle perspective, this bearish divergence does make a lot of sense to me. Thanks for sharing. I did already read it out. What do you think of Trump coin? Please, it's breaking now. Really? Let's check it out. And the chart looks absolutely amazing. Boom, boom. Look at that. It is indeed breaking out. You can draw it in a few different manners, like this, and also just on the candle closes. Interesting. It's breaking out indeed. So probably those wicks are going to be levels of interest. And this is going to be your breakout target. So it looks quite nice, but a lot of altcoins are looking like this now. And you could also draw it a little bit higher even, like that maybe. Interesting. It's also a big breakout of the trend line. But a lot of altcoins are looking like this now. So I don't think, for me personally, that Trump would be a coin picking for myself. I would rather pick Pepe, for example, or maybe Brett, because Brett was also looking quite nicely on the chart. We just looked at it. Target for ETH and BTCD this cycle. For Ethereum, I will just go back to my Twitter, because I made a chart about ETH like quite a long time ago, when ETH was trading much lower than it currently is. Luckily, amazingly, but this is basically my Ethereum prediction for this cycle. We have, of course, been trading in this reaccumulation phase for a long time. We did come down a lot. Here I made a lot of big Ethereum buys. At that conservative case, I did sell a lot of my Ethereum spot position. But I do think it's inevitable that eventually we could be moving towards that bull case target. That's my ultimate target for Ethereum this cycle, which is over 6k. I do think this is possible for Ethereum. Maybe even higher, maybe a little bit lower. I will be taking profits on the way up. Also my Ethereum trading position. Maybe I will also increase this position depending on if Ethereum is going to see more downside. Maybe if I'm going to see a confirmed breakout somewhere, which I do like, I'm going to add to my Ethereum position. I don't know exactly yet, but I do have this 15k Ethereum position open. And for that trade, I'm targeting this bull case target basically. So yeah. And also for the people that are truly interested in like more updates about my trades, because I can't always be live streaming, I can't always just directly update on X or YouTube, because it are like, yeah, you're doing it on the moment yourself. I'm more active in my VIP group, in the VIP Telegram group. There I'm sharing basically all of the market updates I have on the day itself. So if you are interested in that, and also the market updates from Crypto Rover and from Vrij Professional other traders, just make sure to check it out. You can find the link in the description on this live stream. I will quickly show it because I do think it's great value. I will also show you guys something or some result from somebody in our group in just a moment. But here you can find the link to the group. There I'm updating in real time about all my trades, market decisions, just my thoughts about the market also, connecting with the community. Because we did saw something insane today, which I did find amazing. Let's go to my Twitter page. I tweeted about this also. Here it is. We had someone in the group who turned 2k basically into 55k while being in the group for like a week. So that's quite insane. This is of course a little bit of an extreme example. This is not going to happen for everybody, but I do think in the group we are definitely delivering a lot of great value, and you can learn a lot from all of the different perspectives there, and from there you can also create your own trading strategy, and you can start earning more money eventually. So yeah, enough about that. Let's look at the comments. Good morning from the USA. Thoughts on Chainlink. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Is it? Oh, it's morning time in the USA now, right? Yeah. Let me check for Chainlink. I do like it a lot. I also post about Chainlink in the VIP channel here. Let me quickly show it here with this falling wedge. So I will try to find an update on it. Chainlink has been an amazing performer also. Here, link. Let me check it. Just on the weekly now here. Just get it over here. I was looking at the daily. I do have two very interesting perspectives for Link. Of course, you have this falling wedge, but Link has been performing very strongly, so it also means that this falling wedge does have a target of that wick here. So it does mean that this is going to be your profit target. I think it depends on when you did enter Link, but this is probably going to be an important level of interest, an important supply zone maybe even. I don't know how it corresponds with, for example, these levels, because you also do have some wicks here and here, which does correspond with that wick. And you of course have the previous all-time high, I think. Is it the previous all-time high? Or no, it's of course from 2021. But yeah, that's less important now. But I do think Link is now entering an area with a lot of different resistance levels and a lot of supply zones basically. So for Link, I'm definitely expecting people to start taking profits more and more aggressively on the way up here. So That's why I'm still quite careful about Link. If you could see a pullback maybe or something like that, I'm going to get interested in opening a trading position or maybe even accumulating more on spot. Because I do like the project a lot, simply because of their fundamentals. I do think it's an amazing project actually. So yeah, those are my thoughts about Link. Just let me get a quick sip of water. Can you chart ICP? Of course. ICP, internet, computer, what is it again? ICP. Let's look on the weekly first. Also, thanks for the videos. You've helped me so much this cycle. Amazing. That's amazing to hear. Perfect. That's what I'm doing this for also. Just sharing my thoughts. ICP. Interesting one. I don't think there's not a lot of import price data here for me, I personally think. So let's look here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's also look at the RSI, this one. Oh, shit. ICP. Boom. RSI is simply trending up, not too much special there. I don't see a lot on ICP, to be fair. I think it's lagging behind a lot. If I compare it with a lot of other charts, and you guys might also see this yourself, it's lagging a lot because most altcoins are now exactly at the breakout line, which I do want to see. Where I do want to see the confirmed breakout basically to eventually open a trade or accumulate more. But ICP is not showing a lot of strength to me here. And maybe on the daily or something. No, not really, to be fair. I don't really like how this chart is looking in this market now. With a lot of altcoins gaining a lot of traction, by the way. SWorld looks dead, but game is close to coming out and looks good. Maybe not a trading setup, but you can look at it. It's sure DJ and Bev, I think. Is it on trading view even? Or is it like an it's very low cap, I think. Dex, maybe on deck screener then. Is this yeah, it's very low cap. I would have to do some more research about something like this before I can say like anything wisely about it. But maybe you can drop in the comments why you think it's a great one, because there are so many projects to basically investigate and do your research from. So you have to be very selective about that. You can't monitor every altcoin this altcoin season because there are so much. Like stated earlier, there are so much more altcoins than, for example, 2017 and 2021. It's very different. Also, let's look in the crypto bubbles, which altcoins might be outperforming today. Let me check. Actually, we shorted this one in the VIP Telegram group, so that's quite funny. But I see it's back now. Dogecoin, Pepe. Yeah, this is something you see quite often, that the meme coins start outperforming first a little bit and then eventually smaller altcoins always follow. So quite interesting. Shiba also. Yeah, meme coins are taking the spotlights now. IMX. Let's look in the IMX chart. It's interesting. IMX. Yeah, interesting. It's a great performer. I do like the fact that it's basically still so low valued here. But I think out of all the altcoins we have been charting today, I currently like Aptos the most. So I will be doing some more research in about how many, or Aptos is pumping now also, and how many revenue they are truly making. And based on that, I will make a decision if I do want to open a leveraged long on Aptos. I do think this is one of the most interesting charts I'm currently seeing. Just because of the fact how historically the price action has been playing out for Aptos. Modeng. Interesting. Is it the correct one? I think so. I think this is like more of a meme coin, right? So it's quite hard to do TA on it. But if you look at it like this, I don't know if this is the perfect trading view chart to analyze it. But if you look at it like this, it's looking like a quite big opportunity for a big breakout. It's actually looking quite good. Caspa. Yeah, let's discuss some Caspa because I've seen a lot of people talking and asking about Caspa. Let's check it out. Caspa. I think we had been looking at this chart also on not yesterday's but the day before that, the stream we had. Caspa. Yeah, interesting. You can directly see it. Just look at this. Depends a little bit on how you're going to draw it. You can draw it in a few different ways, but this is something I do like to see. It's looking very nice actually. Seeing those lower lows. Price getting compressed. Somewhat of a symmetrical triangle also. Very nice. Caspa is looking very nice. And the target I would be looking for is this one. That's going to be an important one. Because you can see that we got rejected from there 2 times before. So I do want to see a convert breakout here. Hello, what do you think of Ondo? This bull market top. Actually, I do still have my Ondo trade open here. I did adjust it a little bit this morning to 9k because I first had 15k open, but I did find a little bit of a too big position compared to with my Ethereum one, but maybe I will be adding a little bit more later. Ondo. Let me open the chart because of course I have been looking into that one because I don't want I made a trade on it, so I've been doing some research. Let me look into a different one. Ondo. This is not the full history of Ondo actually. Coinbase, I think. Yes. Look, first of all, the reason why I did open my trade on Ondo is not even only the chart, or the biggest reason is not the chart for me. The biggest reason for me is, and I can try to find to look the news, it's just the tokenization trend we are seeing in crypto in general. I don't know if I can find the news, but there was some news coming out about BlackRock willing to tokenize a lot of their I thought what were ETFs or something like that. They were looking to tokenize a lot more assets, and that's basically Ondo as RWA project. It's perfectly fitting in that sector, and I do think that's just going to be a very hyped sector. So I do think most big coins in RWA are going to see more positive price action. I do think it's a very nice narrative to trading basically. Back to Ondo, that's my biggest reason. Also, if you look at Ondo chart, it's looking quite nice. We're now seeing a daily candle above my trend line, above my first trend line, but this is going to be your second one. And yeah, if you could see a confirmation above, I would say there are a lot of zones of interest actually. But you do want to see confirmation above these trend lines, and then eventually you could be heading higher. But we have a lot. I do think this also corresponds with with some wicks here. Yeah, it's just for Ondo. I do think Ondo is going to make new all-time highs, because I do think it fits the narrative of the cycles, RWA, just like I explained earlier. I do think it's it just fits the narrative with everything we see about tokenization currently. So I do think this project could be making new all-time highs because the interest is there, and so will be the liquidity, because liquidity follows the interest. Waiting for a retracement on Ondo. Yeah, you could be doing so. Maybe we'll see retracement, but I did open a 3x leverage long, so a very low leverage position. I always do so because I want to swing trade the big moves higher. And like I stated, I do think Ondo could be making new all-time highs, and then it's definitely going to be a big move. So then I will be making quite some nice profits. And it's possible, but it's going to be hard for me to get liquidated because I'm trading a little bit more low leverage. So also keep that in mind. I would not be entering Ondo here with 100x leverage, for example. I want to trade the big movements in the market, and I want to trade on the trends I'm seeing in the markets, like tokenization I talked about earlier. What about the malicious JavaScript packages news from just a few days ago? Is it safe again to use using a hardware wallet? You should be, I don't know which wallet you're using, but I would take a look into if you, for example, use Phantom. They did come out with a message that it's perfectly fine to use Phantom again. And so you should just take a look into which wallet you're using and then go into their profiles, their official profiles of that wallet, the facilitator basically. And you should take a look in their updates because it depends. I guess it did depend a lot on which provider you're using, which wallet you're using, because not everything was affected by those malicious JavaScript packages actually. Okay, perfect. Thank you for your research. No problem. No problem. I do think Ondo is a very good bet. The cycle stayed to top. The cycle are stayed to top on November's. What do you think? Do you mean that cycles like usually tend to top in November, or just the 4-year cycle? I do think that November could be a potential top for Bitcoin. And later in December, Ethereum, and after that, altcoins. That is, if you look at the 4-year cycle, that is exactly how it has been going for 2017 and 2021. 2021 was a little bit of an earlier top, but Cadena. I don't know that one, but we can look into it. Cadena. I don't know this project itself. I will be taking a look into it later. But yeah, not much to talk about here. I think I don't see a lot. Maybe on the daily, on the weekly. Also drop if you do have something very specific in mind for your altcoin. Also drop the time frames. Yeah, on the daily we are seeing a breakout indeed. So that's nice. And it seems like the last times we saw this, we saw a nice continuation to the upside. It looks quite nice structure-wise. And this is going to be your target, your top target basically for this breakout. And you must be taking all of these highs out. But actually it looks quite nice, confirming the breakout here. But on the bigger time frame, so the weekly for example, I'm not seeing a lot, to be fair. It is a big weekly breakout, so yeah, it could be a nice trade moving this higher to, for example, here. But I don't know a lot about the project, so I would not be longing it myself without knowing anything about it. But the TA side looks quite nice. Let's talk about Cardano. We did talk about Cardano earlier, so I prefer to do some new ones. But yeah, Cardano does look quite nice. Harmony 1. You guys are holding a lot of different altcoins. This one, I think. I know, is this like a very low cap one? Maybe this one's a little bit better. Oh no, it's an older one. I don't know this one, so maybe it's a very good sign, maybe that's a very bad sign. On 50 million market cap, so okay, it's a bigger one. Interesting. I don't know this project, so basically the same as Cadena. But yeah, let's take a look in the chart. It also looks a lot like Cadena, actually, like the chart we had beforehand. If you look at the breakout patterns, a lot of altcoins. Whoa, it almost looks identical. That's insane. But yeah, a lot of altcoins are looking like this. Because we have seen basically 2 impact waves for altcoins, and now we are waiting for the third one. So yeah, these are going to be your first targets, and I don't know if this is a project that fits the narrative, but yeah, ultimately if it does so, you're always targeting the previous all-time high. But if it doesn't fit the narrative of the cycle, I don't think those altcoins will be hitting new all-time highs like we discussed earlier. Oh. Hello, what do you think about Rune? I do see a lot of people talking about this altcoin. So there's definitely a lot of mind share. This does not look very nice. Why did we see this insane dump? Does anybody know why we did? Kathleen, do you know that yourself, where we saw this massive dump, basically? It was... This did not have anything to do with the tariffs, I think, because it was 2024 December and January. So this was actually a bullish period for altcoins, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something which I do find quite weird, actually. But now looking at the chart, price is trending higher. Maybe we can find a bullish divergence. No. RSI is also heading, or maybe... No. RSI is also heading higher. Not a lot I can see here, but I do see the weekly breakout coming. That could be a nice one. Yeah, this is going to be my trend line of interest, basically. RSI trending higher. Yeah, if you take a look like this, for example, with the price, I think it's playing out the bullish divergence on the daily. Here, price heading lower, and the RSI heading higher, but the bullish divergence has been playing out already here. So if we were like back at these levels, this could have been like a great level of interest, actually. But we did confirm this. Let's see how that looks on the weekly. Yeah, there's not the case anymore, I think. Yeah, maybe like this, it's going to be a bullish divergence. But it's not like a very aggressive bullish divergence. Let me get it a little bit more. But it is playing out a bullish divergence. So the RSI is also, for Rune, the RSI is also an interesting one to keep your eyes on, because then this is going to be an interesting level. You could also draw it a little bit as a falling wedge even. Yeah, interesting. Bullish divergence on the weekly for Rune, but it's not a very aggressive one. It's not a very steep Deep RSI moving higher and the price just aggressively heading lower. That's not the case, but there is a small bullish divergence. So this could be quite a nice one to see a reaction from. If the weekly is going to confirm also here, because that's important. Of course, it's Saturday, so tomorrow the weekly candle will close. And once the first green weekly candle close, you basically confirm the bullish divergence. But maybe that did already happen at this green candle. Let me check. Yeah, the bullish divergence has been locked in earlier, so it's now playing out basically, which is quite nice. And then if you do want to wait a little bit, you're basically looking in this level. Confirming a breakout above here could be quite nice. Okay, guys, I'm getting a little bit tired. I did not have a lot of sleep last night actually, but just drop your last altcoins, and then I will take a look into them, and then I will be ending the stream a little bit later. Maybe some altcoin, maybe some questions about Altseason still. Let me know in the comments now. Now is the moment to drop some more comments. I'll just wait for it. Don't see a lot of new stuff coming in so far, but of course the comments do lag a little bit. You had Solana? Okay, you can look in Solana. Let's end the stream with Solana. Yeah, I did draw this one out earlier. Solana is about to confirm a very big weekly candle, which is looking quite nice. This is going to be your next level of resistance for Solana. And above there you have this massive supply zone. And you can see that simply because of the wicks, also exactly corresponding with the 2021 top, which is very logical, but this is a huge supply zone for Solana. So I would not be getting very interested in taking a long here, exactly basically longing the resistance. I don't think that's going to be a smart idea. If Solana could see a pullback to maybe some support here or there, I could be interested in going long. And if this is not going to be the case, if Solana is going to initiate the breakout, then I'm not going to be longing in the supply zone. Then I would love to see a confirmed breakout above the supply zone. Those are my thoughts for Solana. And there is a massive supply zone there. You can simply see it at how big this wick, for example, is. There's also a small wick here and then here. So a lot of people in this zone are interested to take profits on their Solana holdings and trades. That's what I'm thinking of Solana currently. So yeah, okay guys, I will be ending the stream. That was it for today. Also, let me know in the comments and I will be reading through them a little bit later. If you did like this altcoin dedicated live stream more, a little bit of a market screen with each other. I did enjoy it a lot actually. And we can also learn a lot from each other, I do think. So that's why I started the stream. I will be doing it more if I see a lot of positive reactions also coming in. So yeah, let that know in the comments also. And then, yeah, I will be seeing you guys in the next live stream later in the upcoming days. Of course, we have for next week. I know this was more of a sporadic live stream. I did not know I would be going to do this today. But next week on Wednesday, we have a very important one incoming with the FOMC meeting, guys. So that's going to be an absolutely important live stream to watch. So don't miss that one. That's going to be the most important. Great stream. Thank you so much. Thanks to keep us on track. No problem. No problem. I think it was much appreciated then. Amazing. I will see you guys in the next live stream and also in the next update video tomorrow. If you did not watch the update video of today, it is live here. Okay, guys. I will see you guys in the next live stream. Ciao.